This is part 3 of the lecture to accompany Chapter 16 in your textbook. I highly recommend you read Chapter 16 to help you more fully understand the information in this lecture. You may find helpful information in the textbook that I simply don't have time to address. You can pause, stop, and replay this lecture as many times as you wish. Okay, let's finish up Chapter 16. Remember that we're still talking about policy speeches. Now, for policy speeches which are about some kind of action, there are 4 very effective ways to organize policy speeches. Now, as you can see, we've got problem-solution, problem-cause-solution, comparative advantages, and Monroe's motivated sequence. We won't be talking about motivated sequence today because your final speech will be organized according to this pattern, and I have a special lecture for that. But I want to look at the other 3 patterns, so let's get started. The first one is problem solution. Now, this is a very simple structure. The body of the speech has 2 main points. One main point deals with the problem, and the second main point deals with the solution to the problem. The first main point shows the need for a new policy by proving the existence of a serious problem. In this example, the speaker needs to show the problem is serious enough that something needs to be done about phony pharmaceuticals. And in the second main point, you present a plan for solving the problem and demonstrate its practicality. Now here, the speaker says the federal government should take action, and in that main point, they would detail exactly what actions need to be taken. So again, problem solution, very cut and dried. First main point expressing the problem, second main point dealing with the solution to that problem. Then we have problem, cause, solution. Now, sometimes it's necessary for the audience to understand the causes of the problem in order to understand how the solution is going to fix the problem. There are 3 main points in this pattern. The first main point shows the existence of the problem, in this case, childhood obesity. The second main point analyzes the causes of the problem. It looks like there are 2 causes of childhood obesity, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they are probably lack of exercise and poor eating habits. And finally, the third main point presents a solution to the problem. And in this example, the solution probably requires making changes to children's activity levels and diets. But without that second main point, it may not be easy for the audience to see how that solution is going to fix the problem. But usually, solutions deal with causes of the problem. So once you understand the cause, it's easier for the audience to see how the solution is going to work. And then finally, we have something called comparative advantages. Now, this pattern of organization is most effective when the audience already agrees that there's a need for a new policy. So the argument isn't about whether a problem exists or not, it's about which solution is better. In this example, the speaker is trying to persuade the audience that hydrogen fuel cell cars are better than gas electric or hybrid cars, and therefore automakers should put greater emphasis on developing them. So rather than dwelling on the need or the problem, the speaker devotes each main point to explaining why his or her plan is preferable to the other solution. In this example, the speaker's arguing that more money should be spent developing hydrogen fuel cell cars over hybrids because they are superior, and each main point explains a reason why these cars are superior to the other kind. So those are the 3 main types of organizational patterns that you might use in your policy speeches. All right, now that you understand persuasion, you understand the different kinds of questions that give rise to persuasive speeches, and some typical organizational patterns for those speeches. Now you really need to decide on a topic if you haven't already done so. I'd like you to make your topic one that you're interested in, that you have an opinion about, and that you think you might be able to convince the audience to agree with you about. Then narrow it down to something that you can address within the time limit of 5 to 9 minutes. And of course, you need to know exactly what it is you're arguing about. And that's going to give rise to your specific purpose statement, which in a persuasive speech begins with the words to persuade the audience, not to inform the audience, because we've moved on to persuasion. You also need to know if your speech is based on a question of fact, value, or policy, because knowing that's going to help you decide how to organize your main points. Remember that questions of fact and value, generally speaking, are organized topically. Policy speeches are usually organized problem solution, problem cause solution, or comparative advantage. There are other organizational patterns, but for purposes of simplicity, it's best to stick to those ones I just talked about. Then, of course, you're going to need to do some background research on your topic to help you understand more about it. And then once you've done that, move on to Chapter 17, where we are going to discuss how to put together good arguments to persuade your audience.